Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking all about how to pose families and my favorite family posing prompts. If you don't know me, I'm Rebecca. I'm your host here, and I'm a family photographer and educator, and I'm so excited to dive in today. Families are my bread and butter, and I have photographers ask me all the time, how in the world do you pose families? Because my photos are very natural looking. We don't have any like forced smiles, and the posing is natural, and so there are a few tricks that I want to share with you today. Before we go too far, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notifications so you get updated every time there's a new video each week. And be sure to grab our freebie, my best 12 ideas for mini sessions. If you're a mini sessions kind of person, you want theme ideas, you can grab that for free. These are 12 proven themes that work well, that go super well with families, especially families with young kids. So grab that freebie in the description of this video. Let's dive into how to actually pose families. There is a rhyme and a reason to it, right? There is a strategy to posing families. When I'm working with families, typically it's a mom and a dad and then several kids, whether they're older, younger, whatever. We're talking like 2 to 3 kids, sometimes a couple more. But the first thing that I do with every single family is I pose mom and dad first, okay? So we put them either in the middle or on the outsides. I usually don't like put one on the outside and one in the middle and kids like that just because it doesn't look as right. So they're either both in the middle or both on the outsides. And let's just say they're standing, okay? So I pose mom and dad first. And there are 3 key like poses that I always go for mom and dad. I want you to remember hand, hip, or arm, okay? Hand, hip, or arm. They're either holding hands, they're holding their hip, or they are holding onto arms. So maybe mom is holding onto dad's arm or something like that. So I pose mom and dad, whichever pose that I want to do, and then we place the kids around them. And so typically I'll look at what are they wearing and I split up colors. So if dad and one of the sons are both wearing blue, then I'll put the son in blue on the other side of mom so that we split up the colors. So I'll place older kids first, typically on the outsides, and then if there's any little ones, they'll go in front. And a good rule of thumb is if a child is too small to like naturally hold mom or dad's hand, if they're 18 months old and their arms straight up, then it doesn't look natural. And so in that case, I have mom or dad hold that child. But if they're big enough, maybe, 3 years old, sometimes 2 if they're a big 2-year-old, then they can stand and hold somebody's hand naturally. We place the kids, and then from there, we create connection points, okay? So throughout the whole pose, I want to create as many connection points as possible. Mom and dad are already connected. They're either holding hands, holding hips, or holding arms, okay? And then from there, the kids, we want to create connection points. So I may have a kid place a hand on mom and dad's shoulder or hold onto their arm. Or if there's 2 little ones up front, we'll have them hold hands together. Anywhere that you can place a hand or an arm, some place that creates a physical connection of somebody touching, we want to do that so that it creates this cohesive look amongst the family. And so you can see some examples where we are creating those connection points really naturally, but very intentionally, okay? There's a difference between natural and intentional. We want it to look natural, but we also want to do it on purpose. So create those connection points, and that just helps create an environment and just a feeling in those images. Because as photographers, we're storytellers. We want to tell a story of a connected, loving family. And so it's very awkward if, you have one person standing to the side, not touching anybody. It just doesn't look right. So we want to connect them. Another point to think about is the outsides of your image, right? If there's a person on the outside, we want to give them something to do with their hands, because if their hands are just down, it seems like it's unfinished. And so for, dad or for boys, I like to have them stick a hand in their pocket. So their outside hand, let's say the family's on this side, right? The outside hand goes in a pocket. If it's a girl and maybe she has a cute pocket in some pants or a skirt. If she's got a dress, then I'll have her hold onto her dress and kind of sway it a little bit. Give them something to do with their hands so that it kind of completes the pose, all right? And it's amazing what a simple hand in the pocket will do to complete a pose. So whatever you can do to complete, give them something to do with their hands, it helps a lot. The third thing that I do when I'm posing families is I love using posing prompts. Posing prompts is basically something that you, the photographer, says to prompt the family to do something or react a certain way. Posing prompts are really fun, especially with young kids involved, because most young kids don't like getting their picture taken. They just want to have fun. And so if you create sort of a game out of it, then it is a lot more fun for those kids. And so I like to use posing prompts to get natural smiles, right? I don't like fake forced smiles. I think that's so awkward. So I want to create natural smiles, natural, just fun times, and create memories for them to, think back on when they're looking at these pictures. Remember when the photographer said to do such and such, and then we're able to capture a genuine emotion. I want to share with you 5 of my favorite posing prompts. These posing prompts, I'll show you examples of all of them because they're easy to do and you can just keep them in a note on your phone or something like that. They're really easy and they go so well with families. The first one that I like to do that starts it off easy is everybody look at someone. And it sounds duh, that's easy. But what I like to do is, when the whole family's together, I'll say, everybody look at somebody. They all find somebody to look at. And it's a little awkward because they're like, who do I look at? And then I'll say, okay, everybody look at somebody else. And then when they switch it up, it creates, genuine laughter because they're enjoying it. They're like, okay, now I'm looking at somebody else. And it gets that awkward out of their system. Another thing you could say is look at the funniest person or look at your favorite sibling or whatever. It's a moment of discomfort and pressure. They're like, who do I look at? And it creates some genuine emotion that's very sweet. So that's a really easy one to do. Another one I like to do is hold hands and walk while chatting. My goal in that photo is to capture just natural family moments. I don't want it to look super posed. I don't want it to look super scripted. So I'll have everybody hold hands and then just walk. I say, don't look at me. Don't worry about the camera, because if you have everybody holding hands and walking towards you and looking at the camera, it can look a little awkward or forced. There are times when they stand in a line and look at the camera, but walking towards the camera, it's a little awkward. And so I'll tell them, don't look at me, just look at each other, talk to each other. And so in that moment, I'll let them walk for a while. And the longer they walk, the more natural it looks, where, mom and dad are talking to each other or the kids are telling jokes or whatever. They're talking about not tripping. And that's where those genuine smiles come from. So it's very sweet. The third posing prompt that I love to do is a tickle fight. This works best with young children, obviously. You're probably not going to get much reaction from teenagers doing a tickle fight. But if you're doing with, younger kids, then you can have mom and dad tickle all the kids. You can have the kids tickle each other. If I'm doing a sibling shot, I'll have the siblings tickle the youngest one. And then, of course, the youngest one wants to tickle the older ones. And so they take turns who they're tickling and they love that. And that, of course, always gets really great laughs. I like to keep my shutter speed kind of high on those. They're obviously moving a lot. So we want to capture their movement in those moments so that we make sure that we're able to see those genuine smiles and they're not blurry. The fourth posing prompt that I love to use is run and give hugs. And so it's so sweet because usually I'll have mom and dad stand and I'll bring the kids by me. And I've got my camera focused on mom and dad. And I'm going to turn the kids, and of course they love running. They love, trying to knock their parents over. I have to tell them, please don't knock your parents over. But I count them down and then I have them run and give mom and dad hugs. And this turns out so well and it's so sweet. So my focus is on the parents and the kids are slightly out of focus as they're running towards mom and dad. And I love capturing the genuine joy that we see on mom and dad's face. That is just, it's so good. And so I'll have all the kids run towards mom and give mom and dad hugs. And it's so sweet. And usually the boys try to knock everybody over. And so, or the kids are racing to see who can get there first. So we have to do it a couple times, but it turns out so cute. And then my all-time favorite posing prompt is to have mom and dad, again, they're in the background. This time my focus is going to be on the kids. So I put mom and dad in the background, just placed together. And then I have the kids up front like closer to me, okay? And so my focus is on the kids, and I use a lower aperture so that mom and dad are blurry behind them. And I tell the kids to all look at me, and then I have mom and dad kiss in the background, and the kids all cover their eyes and say, ew. I actually had a kid request this pose. I had done their family photos the year before, and he was so excited. It was his favorite pose. So coming into it, we were talking about family photos to do and different shots they wanted. He goes, can we do the ew one? I was like, what? He goes, the ew one, the one where mom and dad are kissing and we say ew. I was like, yeah, of course. This kid's like 12. So he was the oldest. He was so excited. So we did the ew pose and he loved it. But it always turns out so cute just to see the kids' individual personalities in the way that they say ew. Maybe they're covering their eyes, or they're like making gross faces, or sometimes they're just looking back and smiling. Like there's just, no telling what they'll do, but it's a really, really sweet moment. So I love doing that posing prompt. If you want more posing prompts, I actually have a list of 30 or 50 posing prompts. I should probably know how many exactly. In my complete family posing system, I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. It is super inexpensive, and it's a great way to just get more of those natural posing prompts. I have it split up by different groupings. So I have posing prompts for the whole family standing, the whole family walking, sitting, whatever. Just mom and the kids, just dad and the kids, just the kids by themselves, all these different groupings that we get with families. So it's linked below if you want to check it out. And if you have any questions about posing or posing prompts, let me know in the comments. I would love to answer any questions. It's really me here, not a robot answering. And so I really do love serving you however I can. And if you have fun posing prompts that you like to use, comment them below so that we can share with each other and just build each other up and help each other in this community. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, if you have any questions, reach out. Follow me on Instagram at Rebecca Rice Photography for more tips. And of course, hit subscribe and like this video and share with your friends. We'll see you guys next time.